Hello, BookTube. Okay, I haven't been uploading super consistently, but the thing is that I'm in a slump. And this haul doesn't exactly suggest that I am, but I also like DNF'd a lot of books. So we're gonna get into it. I also just like haven't been that into watching BookTube lately because when I'm like not proud of how I'm doing in my own reading life, it makes me feel really bad to see other booktubers like talking about how well they're doing with in terms of reading. So this is what I did though. I have Bitch Planet, which you probably heard me talk about. Did I do a review of this? I don't remember if I reviewed this. If I reviewed it, I'll link it. But I read this. I finished it in September. This is a graphic novel. It's illustrated and I think written by lots of different authors because the style is like very different in different almost short stories. But they're all about what it means to be a woman in this kind of dystopian world and this idea that all the horrible women are sent to Bitch Planet instead of like Earth. And I recommend it. It's not exactly what I was expecting, and it's not incredible, but it has something to say, and the art's pretty cool, and it's cool to like see all these different styles all put together. So if you like feminism, if you like graphic novels, pick it up. Okay. Next, I have Bone House. That I didn't want to get off my shelf because it's very high up there and I don't want to fall. So that is, I'll put it somewhere though. That's a poetry collection by Scott Lodati. I liked it mostly. Sometimes it feels a little bit like pity me, my life is hard. That's kind of the sentiment sometimes. But there were also some really profound poems that I really resonated with and really enjoyed. So I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And what was really funny was that I rated it on Goodreads and then like the next day, Scott Lodati, the author, like liked my review of it, which I was like so creeped out by. Just because like I don't expect like the actual author to see what I'm doing. So that was kind of cool. But I found it in a little bookstore in Brooklyn, so I wasn't like super surprised because it was mostly like small indie authors. But anyway, that was kind of cool. Okay, next I have Tumult, which I did do a review of, and I will link that. This is a graphic novel, and I can actually show you pictures now because I didn't have it when I did the review. But it's this really cool like noir vibe, and I'm not going to spoil it. I just think it's best to go into it blind, but I love the art and the colors are so pretty. I mean, look at this cover. Look at how cool. And that's why I bought it, was because of the cover. But I really, really loved it. The story itself is like interesting and keeps you on your toes. I didn't love the ending, but definitely recommend it. Okay. Then we've got Gone Girl, which I don't have because I read it as an audiobook. This was super popular when it came out. It's a thriller, and it's about a guy who is accused of murdering his wife after she disappears. And his wife is like really, oh, I don't want to spoil it. Again, I think you should just read it. It was really, really good. I liked the audiobook. But I went through it so fast because I liked it so much. And I started to watch the movie. I haven't finished the movie yet, but definitely recommend that. Okay, next I have the Notorious RBG, The Lives and Times of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That is also up on the high shelf, and I don't want to get it, so I'll put a picture. But yeah, it's basically a collection of pictures and different things about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it goes through her whole life. If you've been here before, you know that I like her, and I've read other books about her. But yeah, it was really, really cool, and I'm a big fan. And that's mostly, I think, what they based the documentary off of, but it's also interesting to read, especially in light of what just happened with the Kavanaugh thing. But let's not get political. Okay. Next I have The Brief and Frightening Reign of Phil, which I loved. This might have been my favorite thing all month, which is saying a lot because I did like a lot of these books, but I read them all slowly and some of them I didn't finish. I have finished all of these. I did okay. this isn't horrible for me, but I just feel like not into reading lately. But anyway, this I read for my contemporary fiction class, and it's by George Saunders, who my teacher described as kind of a modern Vonnegut, and so that immediately got me interested. But it's this, I guess, dystopian world where there's like fighting over land and property and these anthropomorphic beings. And it's really good. Like, the writing's wild, and it says a lot about politics and how people gain control and power over other people. And I think it's really interesting. It's super short. You can read it in a day, but I really enjoyed it. So there's that. Okay, next we've got The White Album. This is by Joan Didion. This we read excerpts from in my LA literature class, because a lot of it is about LA, not all of it, but a lot. And then I read a lot of the other little stories and articles, or essays, I guess, just because I liked Didion's writing style. And this is the first thing that I read by Didion, and I'm a fan, which I'm happy to say. She's not what I expected. I thought she'd be more flowery, but I like that she's simple, and she digs into really, like, random things, but makes them super interesting. So, yeah, I'm a fan. Okay, and then we have The Trouble with Goats and Sheep, which I talked about in my haul. Go watch that, because I think that'll get published before this. This is about people living on a cul-de-sac. This was my book club book, and I didn't finish it because my book club didn't like it, and I wasn't done when we had the meeting. So, yeah. Basically, like, I wasn't a fan of how everyone just hates each other, and there's no, like, good characters, I felt like. And I don't know, it just felt pointless to keep reading. And, like, I like the writing style, I will say that, but the story itself I wasn't a big fan of. So I wonder if her other book is better, because I've heard more about that. The 3 Things About Elsie, I think it's called. Okay, and then we have Cloud Atlas, which I know I was really excited about the last time I talked about it, but I didn't finish it. I think I'm gonna come back to this one. I didn't mark it as finished, so I can't technically do it in this wrap-up, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because it's my channel and I can do what I want. This is, I'm not going to describe it because it's too messy and hard to explain, so if you want an explanation, Google it. You have that power. But I liked the language a lot, and then I got to this part with, what's it called? I got to this part with, what's the name? Oh, the Sluicious Crossing and Everything After. And I just kind of stopped reading it. I just fell out of love with it. I want to keep going because I put a lot into it and I got pretty far. And then this one, because it shifts perspective so many times, and I enjoyed that, but then it shifted to someone I really didn't like, and it was such a long thing. I don't know. I gotta try again because I think it'll get better. Kendall. So I'm mad at myself, but I'm gonna try again, I think. Anyway, I think that's all the books that I've read this month. My currently reading, I think, is just Where the Crawdads Sing, which I also talked about in my house, so go watch that. I think that's it. I'm sorry for not uploading more. I would like to do that, but I'm a busy girl. I hope you're all having good reading months and years and whatever. I know I've met my goal also, so I'm not feeling like pressured to keep going. I kind of gave up with the Read Harder challenge. I should have kept going with that, but I'm too much of I like to read by whim. I read when I want to, and so I don't like to deal with lists and things. It's fun to check them off after and be like, oh, this book fit into this, but I won't read something specifically to check the box. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Yeah, but I also just keep buying more books, and so I feel really stressed because my TBR pile keeps growing and growing, and I have so many books to read. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get to them, but hope you're having a good month. See ya.